Okay. Hello, hello, hello. I see Leroy's here. All right. I should be good to go on everything. I'm going to be moving. I'm in the office instead of downstairs at the dining table, so I had to change up how I'm going to do the setup and for some of the stuff. If you look behind me over there, you can actually see my Lego Voltron in the corner chilling out. Bag 3. Yeah, not much going on today, thankfully, in my house. I just got to put together dinner, which will be quick and easy. I can throw it in the crock pot and let it cook for a couple hours. And I got to clean up one of the rooms in my house downstairs, mostly because somebody tracked soot through it. Don't know who. I'll have to talk to that person when I see them. Fancy. Pardon me for being fancy, sir. All right, let me see here. So, this, I should probably close that, shouldn't I? And then we will adjust the camera down. Just so, and then if I turn this a little bit further, I can still see everything going on and get the Ecto-1 in the shot for the most part. I can fix that even better. One second, I'm going to go get something to set the Ecto-1 up on so it's up a little higher. And close my closet. There we go. This will work right here. There we go. There we go. That's better. Now it's easier to see. I want to show you real quick. Since you had built your snow speeder, I got my snow speeder right here. All right. Yay, 2 people. All right. Do I still have my... Where's bag 3 in here? Yeah, we're not that far. There it is. Bag 3. It is cute. It's very cute. He chills out up in the closet with all my other little Star Wars things like that. I got the Snow Speeder, an AT-AT, the Star Destroyer, Interceptor, X-Wing, something else. I think I have a droid tank somewhere. But that one's not so cool. I didn't like it, so he doesn't get to hang out with the cool kids. All right, so they have it facing this way. Actually, if I turn my camera a little bit further, usually I have my monitor up on here, but my son stole my monitor this morning. So instead I got it piled up with everything else. There's the Saturn V rocket. You can't see him, but there is a Lego man sitting on top of the Saturn V from the Town Space series they did. It came in a poly bag with a satellite. And then, like I said, there's the Voltron in the corner along with a Doctor Who set. I got my ship in a bottle over there because every fancy office needs to have a ship in a bottle. Mine's just made out of Legos. All right, so... Two red ones, okay. Yeah, it's just a real gray day today outside. It's... oh, that's why. Okay. Let me just gather this piece first. Yeah, it's real gray outside. I don't mind when the weather's kind of crappy, but it definitely is not an enjoyable look. No one likes it when it's ugly outside. Spent some time yesterday hanging out with a lot of you guys for a while, but I also spent some time with Kiddo. I've got most of my presents wrapped in under the tree. My son and his girlfriend yesterday wrapped the dog's gift, which apparently I'm not allowed to say what it is because somehow he'll know. And I think that's cute and hilarious that they think the dog will really know if I say what his gift is and he manages to overhear. So, other thing I did yesterday was I should probably just show you guys real quick before I forget, it'll end up being a scripted video in the future. I just have to figure out how to do it a little more properly due to the fact that Mega Construct's style of instructions and polybags are not the same as Lego. And it'll say like bag 1, and bag 1 will include bag 1 and pieces from bag number not numbered at all. But I'd like to do some script on the, what's it called? He-Man and the Masters of the Universe stuff. I've been watching some videos in preparation for it. Mostly from the newer series of toys that came out. They have some videos online by a guy named Spectre, who is a consultant, basically, I would say, but he's also a toy designer. And what he does is you hire his company to come through and talk to like the major company, like He-Man is, I believe, Hasbro now. They work Kenner, I want to say, and I'm pretty sure Hasbro bought Kenner years ago. So you hire his company, and they come in and they kind of advise you on, here's what you can do to amp the toy line. Let's look at your old stories. Here's some fun characters, because the toy line is definitely not aimed at younger kids that they're doing currently for He-Man. It is a somewhat expensive toy line, especially with the fact that they're not really producing them as much anymore. So you have to go online to find them. And when you go online to find them, they are hellishly expensive. Not because I planned on ever buying any, to be very honest. I just enjoy seeing the updates on them. And then he came in during the 2005, 2000, sometime early in the 2000s, when they tried to revamp He-Man, basically, and bring him back. And it was actually a pretty good show. It ran for 2 seasons. Unfortunately, the second season set up a really cool plot line with the Snake Men and some hints of Hordak and all that kind of stuff. But it did not pan out, and so we ended up without any season 3, which would have been very interesting, because apparently the idea was they're going to chase Skeletor out of his home in Snake Mountain. due to the fact that it was revealed that Snake Mountain was, of course, home of the Snake Men originally. And Skeletor had released them trying to fight He-Man, and they summarily took over his joint. But yeah, I quite like the art style in the that series of He-Man 2, actually. It was a very nice art style. Very heroic and exciting line, drawing and all that kind of stuff. It's very different from what the She-Ra cartoon that's on Netflix, I think, right now, uses. So we have a stickered piece that's going to end up going on here just now. And it is here. I don't know what RTV stands for, but apparently it stands for something. I think this is probably like the battery pack for the chair. Anyways, enough rambling by me as I wait for people to kind of pop in here and there. And so how you guys all doing today? Keeping out of trouble, I hope. I gotta remember there's a delay on here sometimes. Ha, caught it. That's good. It's already on there. But yeah. Did you find all the parts that you needed to find for what you're trying to fix up there, Leroy? The cantina or what it was? One and two. So. Oh, okay. Weird. There's not too many odd tricks used in this build. You got to work faster then. There's not too many weird tricks used in this build. I find a lot of it is stuff I've seen before. Like in here, there is... Let me take this off so you can see it better. In here is a joint piece, basically. Let me just go all the way back and pull it up. One of these joint pieces, right? And there you go. So, and generally it's a ratchet joint, so it's... There we go, these. So, clicks, holds in place. That is actually going to be used in conjunction with a C-clip, and it'll slide in and clip into there. And what happens with the C-clips in those is there's actually, on the inside of the joint itself, there are little nubs. And what that allows the C-clips to do is they get a basic grasp on those nubs, and it'll hold things in place until you need to move it again, which allows it to lock in place so that when you have a set built and you can display it, or you're playing with it, it's not just going to slide out on you. But it also allows you then to take that piece and physically move it yourself, which, okay, it opens a door, it does, one of a couple different things. This one is actually going to be used, if I remember correctly, for this back panel. So that when you grab the piece that's going to be attached and you pull it back, it'll actually drop the back panel to allow the remote-controlled ghost trap to slide out the back of the van, or ambulance, basically. And it's something I've seen on a couple sets. I've actually seen it on some of the Star Wars sets, which I have the Death Star battle set with, Luke, the Emperor, and all that kind of stuff somewhere. My wife and son gave that to me years ago, and it was actually on display for a long time in my basement until we moved out of that house and into this one. It's in one of those 8 billion bins, and I've considered fixing it up, but I have nowhere to display it in my house currently. As it is, I'm running out of display space already and have to um, decide how I'm going to do some of the displays I want to do. All right. So the next few steps actually involve a radar dish array that's going to be built later. That'll turn with the back wheels. There's 2 gears in here, and the will cause the sniffer to swing from side to side. It'll be on a bar that just doesn't do a full rotation with the thing on top. It's going to be set on a wheel so that it pulls up and comes back around instead of turning. And a parabolic radar dish, and that'll do 360s. Hey, Torn, how are you doing? So there are a lot of little fun design choices like that in here. I find like there's actually a lot of turning gears that are used in this set that I quite enjoy because you don't see them too often. In pieces that are meant more for display. At least I find so. They'll sometimes do fun things like the Mustang. That's a scale model kit like this one has a gear that you can turn in the back, and it raises the back part, and you can muscle car it out kind of deal. But very often the ones that are used for display have little things, but nothing that sets them apart. This one, on the other hand, has all these fun little gimmicks in it that make it play-worthy. Where's that piece? You want to do stuff with this set, which is fine. Like I said, it's mostly going to end up being displayed in my living room on the mantle, but I love the fact that if I decide to, I can take it down and run around the house, make car noises, that kind of stuff. Because, what's the point of having a car if you don't make car noises? So this is this is going to be the main gear piece. Oh, as I drop it, that's going to end up in here. And it's going to be butting up against this gear. And I'm always curious why there's 2 gears, but anyways, there's 2 gears in there, but they only use the one. I believe if you wanted to, you could do more with the second gear as well. If you decide to mod this out yourself. And right. Oh, I did a bad. There we go. So I've looked at let's see here if you can tell. You can kind of tell it's spinning as I spin the wheel. So I've looked at some stuff I'd like to do with this myself. For modding it, I'd like to make it look more like the original Ecto-1, which basically means that this swing out chair here will become defunct because it won't be able to be used. The door will be in the way of, not the door, but there's going to be a ladder in the way of the door swinging open if I do that. That's fine. It's like I said, though I will enjoy running around the house with this thing like a little kid. Given the opportunity, I'll move this off to the side for a little bit because we're actually moving to a different part. At the same time, if I'm displaying it more often than not, I want it to look more like the classic Ecto-1, which is what I was kind of aiming for with it. It looks beautiful when it's done, though. I will not detract from that. It is definitely worth buying if you have the money. Just as, as an adult, who likes to have fun building the stuff. It's fun to build and play with. I am still enjoying building this just as much as I did when I built it the first time on this second build that I'm doing here. I get to go a little faster than the first time I built it, though, just because... Oh, I put this one too far up. Just because I've kind of done it once. And as such, there are less moments of me taking my time to just kind of really see what little tricks they might have pulled here and there, and trying to figure out how I can adapt those into other things that I do for myself. To be honest, I don't really build too much in the way of cars. Not because I don't think they're interesting. I love, Lego cars and all that kind of stuff. They are a lot of fun. But mostly because I don't have as much interest in vehicles as I do in stuff like homes or, place sets in a sense, like this. I made this little vignette ages ago, a couple years ago. The table's off. I got to find the table that I put on there. And there is you can't see it, but there's actually a little stud next to the chair. And I have a cat that I usually put there. Right now, the cat is inside the Volkswagen Beetle I have on my mantle. Somebody's got to drive in, so I chose the cat. Even though he is entirely out of spec to the rest of the vehicle. Yeah. So, all right, so skip a space. So like there. Far too often people forget to take time to unwind, and they take them, well, not so much nowadays, I find. Pardon me, grabbing a drink there. Not so much nowadays, I find, but especially as a kid, I found that people took themselves far too seriously all the time. It was when you're an adult, you were to put away the childish things of your past and move forward from there. My mom and my grandfather, especially my grandfather, was very much different. My grandfather believed that it was important to be an adult, right? To do adult things in a sense, to be responsible, to care for your family and all that kind of stuff, right? But to also take time to be childish. To not let yourself be so caught up in being an adult that you forget that it's okay to stop and do something silly. Like, things that people would pass off on because, adults don't do that, I've heard that quite often from my dad's mom about how I need to grow up a little further and all that kind of stuff. And my wife would defend me to the quick and tell her he does everything he's supposed to do as an adult. Who cares what he does outside of that? I think she has a point. Who cares what you do outside of being an adult, as long as it's not hurting others and you get a good laugh and chuckle yourself. You build spaceships. Yes, I know, Leroy, and I'm very happy when you share them because I like looking at that stuff. So this part that we're building now is... Oh, man, what connects up to it? It goes on the back of the car. And this will be used in conjunction with something else to actually run apart at an angle. This little doorknob there, I guess. I don't know what that place is actually called. You'll find sometimes I know exactly what a piece is supposed to be called, and then other times I'll come across a piece and I'll be like, it's a doorknob. That's what it looks like to me. And so this looks like a doorknob to me, and so that's what I'm calling it. There we go. Oddly enough, there will be green and red sections on here, like I talked about the last time I did a live build that denotes left and right side. But most of the stuff you'll see is the yellow and the blue, which I only really saw the blue going down the center, so I'm not sure why they use the yellow and blue here, what it denotes for the build. Because I thought the blue was just meant as a, hey, this is running down the center line. But apparently not. So they use the windows on here to help shore up when the piece comes against it and presses on it. The kind that is me. Hello, Roy. Oh, man. So I'm trying to figure out what the blue and the yellow actually denote. Maybe it just denotes mirrored build. Did I? I might have just built this on the wrong side like that. Oh, let me see here. Yep. That's easy enough to fix, though. Okay. There we go. Me talking big about, oh, I don't make as many mistakes after I built it once. And I start making all the mistakes. So here. This will go here. This and this will go here. But thankfully, fixing the mistakes is quite quick and simple, as long as you don't get too far back kind of deal. And then this is actually a Mega Blocks brick separator. I have a billion brick separators in my house. I am not a, there we go, picky individual when it comes to brick separators, as long as they work. I have seen some cool ones on some of those like third-party build videos when they go to build knockoff ones, like knockoff Lego sets, to compare them to the actual Lego sets. And I saw one that was a giraffe, and I honestly considered buying that Lego set just so I could have a giraffe separator, because that would be hilarious. I have, like I said, I have some of the I call them third party since Lego's first party, but I would say they're second party since they're official. But like, got this Mega one, which is nice because it has a crowbar piece for the to reach underneath the parts, and I actually like that more than Lego's, which like a flathead on theirs. I do have another Mega Block separator here, which I'll show you real quick in my, oh, come here, you, my bowl of stuff. He-Man vehicle. This one here. There we go. There's a bunch of He-Man figurines in that bowl. This one was cool because it has this piece here, and you can push it and separate parts that way, like when they get stuck on here. So if I had, so you pull it off, right? So you'll pull the part off with this, and then you can just pop it off, and that is fun. So I've got a couple of those. I've got a ton of Lego ones. There's a couple in a box somewhere that I was seeing how many I could stack together out of my collection. It's probably in the closet there. Anyways, let's get back to this thing here. So here we go. We're going to be doing the red and green sides again, which separates. Okay, so that's exactly what it is. So blue and yellow denotes the same build on separate sides or down the middle, and red and green separates it as being mirrored to left and right side is what it looks like. Okay, that makes sense now. Now I understand what they were doing there. All right, so then this. Then they use what's usually a microphone in the Lego sets as the other joint piece for doing the angled like this. Yeah. For the what'll be like the fins on the side of it. All right, where are you at? Boom. So yeah, so what'll happen is they will clip here and here, and they'll be like a little angle like that. All right, and then we're going to probably do green on the other side. That's exactly what's going on. So we can just do this. It'll be a little quicker that way. Where are you at? But yeah, other than the weather, today's been pretty nice. I've got some stuff, like I said, I got to do downstairs after this. I think my son, so for his job, my son had to go get a flu shot yesterday. And the person who gave it to him apparently was not very skilled with a needle. And so he is not happy because, he is a trained combat medic. So, he's learned to give shots. He's had to give shots to himself, all that kind of stuff. And he said that there's never any reason for a nurse to not give a decent shot if it's not in stressful combat situations. So anytime he gets a shot and it's done poorly, he gets very upset. If it's done poorly and it's a relaxed atmosphere. So he was very upset because I ended up bruising his arm. Yeah, I need to do some outside work myself, Leroy. So I keep waiting for the weather to become a little more bearable. And it is not doing so for me. I've got to, do the pre-snow cleanup, but we've had so much rain lately that I can't. I would like to, mow my yard one last time before we start getting some big snow and all that kind of stuff, but it's not cooperating. Which just means that come spring, it'll be a pain in the butt to mow because it'll be kind of heavy for that first mow. I think that is definitely one thing that I do miss about living in a townhouse. I do miss having somebody else do your lawn for you. Okay, like that, right? Yeah. So this is an interesting step here too. It's like I said, it's not an unusual step. I've seen it a few times before, but they're taking like one of the headlamp pieces, which are one of the ones that have the recessed bit there, and they're laying it on its back since it has the opening in the back too. And they're using that to jump a piece up just a little bit, like so, and to also allow it to have the snot build structure, which means stud not on top, so that you have a two stud there. All right, so now we're going to take this piece and add it onto the back of here. So this will go over to here, like so. There you go. So yeah, there's some terms that you pick up here and there when you start kind of like looking into Lego things, like the term SNOT, which, like I said, just stands for stud not on top. You have MOX, which stands for my own creation. And there's a couple other things like that. I don't know them as well. I just remember loving those ones. So, of course, I remembered them. But generally, those are going to be the two terms you see the most. There's greebling, which is where you purposely take and, well, I guess this is kind of it, but not really. It's where you take and you let the piece be look like it has pipes and stuff running through it by, not smoothing it over. You're going to lay like piping, you're going to lay a phone, you're going to lay little studs, just to make it look more interesting and not smooth. A lot of the a good example for that if you look at the pictures for it, is the Lego for official style is the Lego Millennium Falcon. Has a lot of greebling on stuff. Yeah, decorative. That's a good way to put it. So the Ecto-1 does not have much in the way of greebling. It does have the roof rack, which is not greebled. It's just got a bunch of stuff up on top. It looks messy more than anything else, which fits. It's the Ecto-1. It's not supposed to be a, gorgeous vehicle. It's supposed to look like a bunch of guys cobbled something together and made it work. All right. So we got this and this one. They use this. I like these pieces for the corner pieces that have the two sloped and then the two even flat edges. I've always liked those pieces. I've always thought they looked interesting. Goes yay way, right? Yeah. All right. Oh, it's getting a little sunny outside. Okay, so this is going to go over on this side. And this will be the wheel well later. I have a couple of, I always end up buying at least once the mint coffee from Starbucks. That's not what I'm drinking right now. I'm drinking, they had something else that looked interesting, a dark roast that's supposed to be a holiday blend. And it's supposed to have like a little bit of a fruity taste to it. And it's not too bad. I find it's quite enjoyable, actually. Not too heavy on the fruity taste, thankfully, because that would ruin it. It's definitely a dark roast. And, a dark roast shouldn't be too sweet. It can have a nice, nutty flavor to it, I find, for a dark roast. That's usually complimentary. But when they're too sweet in their dark roast, it just, I don't know. It's very unenjoyable. But I had to try it out. I had to see if it was any good. Thankfully, it was decent. One thing I would have loved to have seen, actually, in this set, which I understand why it's not here. Like I said, this is based off of the new movie, and it's one of the things that I might later on gut this out and try to do, is build a sliding rack for like the proton packs, like from the second movie that you see it especially in. When they come out of the birthday party, they open it up and they pull the rack out to put their packs on after doing the birthday party. I would have liked to have seen that, and there was a part here that I thought is what I was building it for, and it was not, and I was sad. I was really hoping that it was going to be a sliding rack for the packs, but you can't put everything in these sets without it going overboard, and I understand that. Doesn't mean I can't wish, though, right? Okay. That just means that I have to do it myself if I decide to do so. What I am actually going to look up, though, which is going to be the first time I do something like this, is I want to see if they have lighting kits for this Ecto-1. And it's the very first time I'm really considering getting a lighting kit. They're usually third party and not always clean looking when you really look at it. But I'd really love it if I could get like the sirens and stuff to light up on this, or the headlights. So I'll see. I might do that later today, actually. Sit down and look and see what I can find online. See what prices are like. Because I think it would be fun to do, and it would look really nice if it's done decently by by whatever company. As you know, even as a display, to be able to come over and flip on a switch and have it light up or something like that every now and then. So this is the back bumper, and it has license plate. License plate is a sticker. Unfortunately, I was hoping it would be a printed brick. There are actually not too many bricks in this set that are exclusive to the set. They are all, except for the ones that actually have the no ghost sign printed on them, pieces that you could order from Lego online if you wanted to, or go through in your sets and dig up. If you want to try and build this at home without actually buying the set itself. So that's always a possibility with these things. You could probably do that and order stickers offline or online, sorry, to recreate the No Ghost logo and stuff. That's a possibility. I don't know whether to recommend that or not, just because the hardest part for doing anything like this is the fact that you may run into parts that are rare in color, which means that you might not have too many of them. And so you'd have to order them from Lego, and depending on the rarity of the piece and the popularity, or not the popularity, the rarity of the piece and the popularity, I guess, of it being used by the Lego company itself, you sometimes don't find them at a decent price even from Lego. It might be, you might find that most of the pieces are, 7 to 8 cents, but this piece might be 15 to 25. Price differences like that don't happen too often, very honestly. Usually it's for printed pieces. If you try to order the printed pieces exclusively, and those are usually going to be a little more expensive. But come on, you're there. But like I said, you could do this without buying printed pieces. It would just be a little maybe more difficult to get everything, and you might actually end up paying basically the same cost anyways for all the parts that you have to get as you would end up getting the actual vehicle itself. I remember I tried something like that for Darth Vader's TIE Fighter a long time ago, when the very first Darth Vader's TIE Fighter came out. And even on the secondary market, I would have ended up paying less to buy the actual TIE Fighter itself than trying to order the specialty pieces. I think the cost difference was about $5 to $6 between ordering the parts online. Hey, Strawberry. So this piece here, it's going to be the back light. And what's happening is, let me take this off. They're using a Lego goblet and this piece in conjunction with the square cutout. So what happens is there is a one stud piece here, and the bottom of it actually fits in the top of the Lego goblet. And then the square piece will fit into the opening here, and it actually holds it very well in place, so you don't have to worry about it falling out. And it also, it doesn't come out at all. So it's actually kind of cool because it fills in that square, and it ends up, just looking like the lens covers to the light, like they're supposed to look. And so now, last bit here is to fill out the top of the bumper with these little curved pieces, like little humps. And we'll actually almost be done with the build for bag 3 at this point. There's only just going to be a couple more parts to put on. This is the back bumper all done, and it just fits right on here. And it covers up all these snot studs. There we go. And it locks on tight too, actually. So, there's no danger of this back bumper falling off. So this will give you an idea of the length of the rear of the car, right? So the rear of the car is definitely going to end here. The front of the car will end a little bit further up. So it ends up being a very long, little fancy boy there. So, and then we use this to cover up some of the unsightly bits there. This goes like so. And there. I love the fact that Lego has a license to do this for Ghostbusters, and that it's not some secondary company. Mostly because I know exactly what quality of parts I'm going to be getting from Lego, and I don't have to worry about the possibility of things not holding together or being a little extra tight. Bag 4 is a smaller bag. Some of the parts for the bags are actually smaller. They end up being more decorative than structural. So the first 3 bags are all structural for the most part. And as such, they end up being larger amounts of pieces. And as you get to the more detail-oriented parts, like this one will actually be us building the steering wheel section. There are less parts, but they're either going to be longer plates or just smaller parts in general, which, okay, cool. I can do it. I'll go with that. So this is going to be a red section, which means we're going to be putting it on the side of the car. So let's move the car again, because once again, they're saying, hey, you're building a part. So we got this. I would love, so I enjoy the Lego video games that have come out over time. A lot of times they are, No, I miscounted here in my head. A lot of times they're a lot of fun to play. There's the Toys to Life Lego Dimensions, which I would love to play. I've been eyeing it online off and on. The main reason why I'd end up usually not getting it is I honestly would be getting it just to be able to play the Ghostbusters section more than anything else. They did a lot of their licensed brands in the game. So like there's Simpsons, Ghostbusters, Sonic, which I would love them to do more stuff with Sonic. The Lego Dimensions stuff was promising, but it wasn't interesting enough for me to shell out for just basically Sonic and a gold ring and a vehicle. I would have loved if they had done like Tails. I probably would have bought it. But they did a lot, like I said, it was mostly just licensed brands that they had the ability to use that they put out in the Lego Dimensions stuff. And I would love to see them do some more of it. Like they had some sets based on old video games in there, and that to really actually fully play that game, though, you have to have a lot of those Toys to Life sets, like the Sonic set and all that, so it unlocks a level. And I don't feel like spending that much money just to be able to play a full game. That's, I think, one of the downsides to those Toys to Life games is to really enjoy the game. You got to keep shelling out for, this figure, that figure. So here we go. This is basically the back door, which on the other side, like I said, it opens. This one does not. This is going to be where our ladder hangs over. It's going to be like right in this area. So there you go. We actually have a decent amount of paneling now. All right. There. Where is it? Yeah, so I've been playing the Lego Superheroes 2 game. I have the 3-pack that was released for the PS4 and other systems of comparable generation. So the Switch, the Xbox One, and all that kind of stuff. And it has the Lego Superheroes, Lego Marvel Avengers, and Lego Superheroes 2. Lego Superheroes, the first one was, you can definitely tell it's an older game, but it was a lot of fun to play. You have a lot of odd character choices in there, but it does have characters that you don't see later on in the games, just due to the fact that Disney bought Marvel, and with their inability to use all the characters, what happens is Disney will basically not promote certain character brands as much as the brands that they own or they have a reason to. So at the time, Disney did not own the rights to the X-Men. Daredevil, all those like Fox ones. But when the first Lego Superheroes game was put out, the hiatus basically put in place for those brands was not as stringent. And basically, I think Lego or Marvel, I did that wrong. Realized that, without certain characters in there, they might not be able to draw the crowds they wanted to draw in order to sell the game. So it has X-Men and it has Spider-Man, Daredevil, all that, all those big names that were doing well in the comics at the time and in movie theaters. Well, after that game did very well, actually, the Avengers movies started to really pick up. So Iron Man had already come out in theaters by the time the first Lego game dropped. And Marvel and Disney realized they had a cash cow on hand. They have a series that... There we go. So there you go. One door. They had a series that would, do well if they treated it right. And one thing I must say about Disney is they definitely know how to sell a product. And they are selling the shit out of their Marvel products, right? So at the time, for the second video game, as I said, they kind of had the... Did I put that in the wrong one? No, that's right. I should lock... Oh, I used the wrong gear. That's what it was. At the time, they had just worked out a deal for the Captain America Civil War movie and such. There we go. To allow the use of Spider-Man from Sony. So during the second game, they have Spider-Man in there. And, of course, a bunch of the other Marvel brands for their movies they were putting out. Have I ever played Lego Worlds? I rented it for the kiddo once from our local library. I played it a little bit. I didn't get too far into it, but it looked like it would be... It's an interesting premise, It's definitely kind of Minecraft feel to it. When are we playing Genshin Impact? Well, I played almost a half hour every day just to do the dailies at least. Um, I don't know. I don't have it on my on this system. It's on my PS. Um, I am actually currently working with my son to fix up my computer, my actual desktop. It's supposed to be my Christmas gift, but he's kind of let me in on the secret because he wanted to ask me a couple specs details that I was looking at. So if that gets up and running, I will probably actually play it on there too. But that'll be a new account. But yeah, we can definitely do some Genshin at some point. We've got to try and rope Rockman into it too, since he got us started on that shit and then he left us to go play his fancy games. And now I just lost my train of thought. Let me go back a second here. Oh, so yeah. The Lego Worlds game looked interesting. I played it for a little bit, but I did not get into it very much. Kiddo liked it. She thought it was interesting. She quite enjoyed it, but after she never asked me to take it out of the library again, so she didn't enjoy it that much. So that's one of those games that I guess if you like Minecraft and you like collecting them, or you like collecting games, it's kind of fun because the more you collect, the more stuff you can do in them. You unlock lava bricks and stuff like that. But I think the main draw for me, if I was to continue playing Lego Worlds, would be the fact that you can do more after you finish the game than you can with like the Lego superhero games. Because once you 100% that, all you really get to do is run around the city. You can replay levels. You run around the city, and that's about it. There's not too much to do outside of them once you complete them, 100% them. At least as for me, right? Maybe other people enjoy the chance to run around as their favorite heroes or whatever. But after I 100% it, I go back every now and then to play them. But I usually find that I set them to the side or pull it out mostly for when my nephews and stuff come over. Oh, did I? That's right. Oh, this goes like this. All right. So this is. It doesn't have a brake pedal, actually. It just has a gas pedal when you put it in. So the second Lego game, Lego Superheroes, has a lot to do with the Avengers movie and Civil War movie and all that kind of stuff that came out. That game, like I said, was released during the second phase of Marvel. So you had Ant-Man, you had Civil War, Doctor Strange had just come out, all those kind of stuff, and so those were included in the game. But you lost out on the fact that because Fox hadn't really worked out its deal with Disney yet, you don't have any X-Men licensed stuff. It's all Spider-Man or the IPs that Disney owned. So at the time too, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was a big thing. So there's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. level. And then moving this back off again. There's an Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. level, that kind of stuff. So it was fun. I completed that one just the other day, and now I'm playing Superheroes 2, which has a lot more characters in there. Like Ghost Rider actually disappeared. He was in the first game, but he was no longer in the second. By the time the Lego Superheroes 2 game came out, Disney had gotten the rights back to Ghost Rider, which is... So he's back in the game. Speaking of Ghost Rider, actually, there's something there's a Lego set coming out next year, which might be one of the first superhero sets I get for the last little while. Because usually I haven't really bought too many of the superhero sets recently, even though I had fun collecting them off and on. But next year they're releasing. So I have the Ghost Rider set that came out a couple years ago, which was a Spider-Man set actually, and it had Ghost Rider with his motorcycle. Well, there is another Ghost Rider that was introduced during Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to me. It's not one that I knew of because I don't follow the comics too well. But it's a Ghost Rider that drives a muscle car. And instead of just having like a regular flaming skull, his skull looks more metallic and all that. It kind of more machine-like look to him. And they will be releasing that set, that Ghost Rider set next year with Spider-Man as well. So that might be the first superhero set I get in a little while. Will be that Ghost Rider, because it'll be him, Spider-Man, and the muscle car. And the main draw for me will actually be the muscle car and the Ghost Rider guy together. There we go. So here's steering wheel. And it's going to, so it has this bench joint in the middle. So we're going to hook it on here, and then using the bend, you can hook it into this, and come on, you. All right, we'll put this on first then. Come on. Supposedly you can put it in here, but apparently I can't. There we go. And then that clicks here, and that gives you the steering wheel to turn the wheels. Now, like I said, later on, there will be this piece will have a gear and a light attached to it, which will actually let you turn it from outside the car, and you won't have to use the steering wheel because you have to turn that quite a bit to turn the wheels just slightly. Oh, actually, I still need this. I thought we were going to build some more. Build it first and then add it on again. All right, so this. And this is, there we go. But yeah, so there was a couple other, like I've been looking at some of the 2021 sets coming out. The next modular house will be coming out next year. And it's a police station, a laundromat, and something else. And I've been kind of looking at to see what they, because a lot of times these sets will be suggested as, it'll go well with this set for appearance-wise, but I usually just stick them up there with my display as I kind of get them. So I've been looking to see how they are displaying it on the official photos, and it just the downside to how they display it officially is there's actually a really cool billboard that advertises the laundry soap place. It's on the side of the police station, and the way it's built and displayed on their personal displays, you end up covering the billboard up, and that kind of is, to me at least, stupid. How am I going to, build up that billboard and then cover it? So I am looking to possibly actually move some of the sets around. I have one set where the buildings are pushed back a little bit, and I'll probably hook it onto the side of that one. So I've got, what, 1, 2... I've almost got 4 corners. I can actually almost build an actual block. I've got the theater, which is a corner. The what's it called? Garage is a corner piece, and I have one other corner piece too, and I can't remember what it is now. So, but there you go. That's just inane ramblings about modular housings. Those are a lot of fun, though. once again, those are, fun to play in. I usually have some kind of scene set up in them all the time. I have to put some of the stuff back because I pulled them out, but I had the Scooby-Doo gang in the movie theater with some ghosts watching a movie together. I have the Ninja Turtles are on top of the is it a police station? No, a bank. Are on top of the bank. Which, where else are you going to put the Ninja Turtles? They got to go somewhere, so they may as well be there. So I've got them on top of the bank. I have a restaurant that is full of minifigures from different lines. Like I have my Doctor Who minifigures are in there, along with a Cyberman, having dinner. I've got my minis from the Lego movie are sitting outside a cafe, because you got to buy expensive coffee according to the Lego movie. So where else would I put them? Stuff like that. I bought a polybag set ages ago that I actually have displayed as well, and it is displayed outside the movie theater since the polybag set is for. Sorry, 1 second. I just want to make sure I put this on the right spot. The polybag set is actually a guy with a push cart for popcorn, and when you push the cart forward, there is on one of the wheels on the inside. It's on one of these posts, right? One of these, right? And attached to it is a piece that sticks up just a little bit. So every time that comes around, it pops on a plate that's on like a spring piece. And every time that plate pops, it pops the popcorn inside. So I wish I could deny that I was playing with that again recently when I was in the guest bedroom cleaning it up. But yeah, I was definitely playing with it because that is fun. I have no idea what the youngest is doing downstairs, but it's very loud. And that's actually why I came upstairs, was so that I could hear myself without having to listen to her too. And then she wonders why, like any parent, I sit there and say, hey, you need to be quiet. Oh, man. There we go. I think that's the one thing about being a parent that I wish I didn't have to do is say all the things I said. You tell yourself, I'm never going to tell that to my kids. I'm never going to tell them, oh, you got to be quiet. I'm going to let them have fun. Then here I am thinking to myself, God, I wish you would be a little quieter. Okay, so I mentioned earlier today, actually, that there was going to be a C clip, and I grabbed the wrong clip. It's actually supposed to be the C clip on here for attaching to that piece. So here's the C clip that'll grab onto the other piece and hold it together. And this will pull out from the thing and release the trap. There it is. There's that. I think the one thing about doing a live show that I don't think you realize until you start doing a live show is that your throat dries out a lot during it. Mostly because you're just rambling on at people. All right, where is that? There it is. All right, so this piece, and then we need a gray piece. So this is what this piece here that I'm putting on now is what they have you grab to pull it out. And I have to admit, it does not work very well for what they want it to do. I kind of wish it was designed a little differently. Like I had thought at first that it was going to be the rear door handle. It's not, because the rear door actually does open as well, and you can't have this be that part for the rear door, right? And then also be what you pull to open it. So that is an unfortunate, truth of this build, is pulling out this piece to release the ghost trap is not easy with big hands. Let's see here. There we go. Yeah, so talking about modular houses, the Lego modular housing sets, since I mentioned them earlier, they have a lot of cool ones you can actually still get. I believe you can no longer get the Parisian restaurant. I think that one has now been retired. They usually have 3 or 4 available at a time, and then they retire the oldest one every time they release a set. So I don't believe you can get the restaurant anymore. But you can still get, for sure, the garage, which was the last one they did. And that set was fun. The garage door opens kind of deal with a gear. So you turn the gear and the garage opens up. There's a gas station in front of it. There is above it. Is that the one with the... I don't remember what the rest of it is. I just remember playing in the garage. It has like a wheel on the wall. Comes with a tow truck. There's the cafe set, like the old 1950s diner set. That one should still be available. If you're going to... Okay, so if you're going to spend the money to get one of those modular housing sets, that is the one that I would suggest you get. Before any other is the 1950s style one, which has like a diner, it has a music studio, and it has oh gosh, and this is where my brain stops working. Like a gym attached to it. That one I felt had one of the funnest builds for those modular houses I've done in a long time. If you want to go for just playing, though, and not aimed more at display, because that diner just looks really nice when you display it, then I would suggest something like, if it's still available, the bank had a lot of play value, or the garage. As much as I don't remember it, I do know that I played in it. And then there's also the theater's no longer available, but that one was fun. So yeah, I think it's just the 10-year anniversary set, I think it was, they did. That one was a lot of fun to build. It had a flower shop, a wedding shop, a little fountain. That has a lot of stuff you can do with it, just to play around in. So there's another one I would suggest if you're going to pick something like this up. So this is why the runners are, or the not runners, I call them runners because that's what they're used for, but the flat tiles are here, because this slides in here, and the flat tiles allow the chair to move along the thing there. So yeah, so this will clip in like so, and then using this piece here, you just pull it off. So there we go. All right. The last of this bag is basically building a arm piece, which will go here. So we'll put that together real quick. I believe you also build one of the there we go. The little decorative features that are in here as well. So yeah, so when you pull this, it'll catch this arm here and boop, drop it down. It's an interconnecting building set and not a toy. Anything can be a toy. It doesn't mean you should turn it into a toy, but anything can be a toy. It might be a one-time use toy, like a missile. But you could sure play with it for at least half a second. Let's see here. But yeah. There's so there is the Mario Brothers set, right? That are out, which are definitely made for interaction. I don't have any of them just because I didn't feel like paying $50 for a set that honestly I don't really like the look of. I have definitely looked into it a couple of times, like this. But unfortunately, I find the problem is due to the technology involved with the Mario, which reads like RFID switches, basically like little computer chips and stuff to make the noises. Mario does not come with anything but that starter kit. And that starter kit level, like I said, it's $50 and it's just no fun looking to me. It's just boring. They have some cooler looking levels, like the Bowser's level, but it doesn't come with Mario. It just comes, just a little build your own Bowser. So, as something like if you're going to play with it, I would recommend, if you want to get it for your kids and you're willing to spend $50 on a set for your kids, I would consider that more for play value for your children, especially if they're 10 or 11. I wouldn't go too much younger than that, maybe down to 8 with that set, mostly because beyond that point, I don't think, besides the fact that it makes noise, kids would really enjoy it. But that would be a recommendation for me if you were to buy something for your kids, more or less. I would recommend that set beyond something like this one or the modular housing. They're expensive, and I enjoy them, and I think they are sets that someone maybe 12 or 13 and up would enjoy if you're willing to spend that much money on a teenager for a set of Legos. But it's definitely aimed. Those sets are definitely aimed more at a adult collector than like Micah said, the Mario sets. I currently am collecting the Harry Potter castle sets for Kiddo because she really likes those, and so she actually has most of it in her bedroom on her dresser. She's quickly running out of dresser space, though, because that castle gets very big, apparently, as you add more parts on. Like the first set was the Great Hall, where the sorting hat and stuff is. There's the last set I just got her was the Room of Requirement. But basically, the room that only appears when you need it to appear. That room. So she has that. That one's actually down on her workstation desk where she does homework and stuff. Okay, I have a part that should be used somewhere. A couple parts that should be used somewhere. All right, those are probably not sure. But anyways, this is actually the last piece on the directions for this set, which goes over that to hide the bar. So this is one of the more decorative parts, which I liked. But yeah, so you can still do this, and then, like I said, it'll just do that underneath and drop the little ghost trap. So that's everything for this set. I will be going back through after I go offline to make sure I didn't miss where this gray block went, because I have an extra one of these. It might actually go in bag 5, to be honest, because I don't remember missing anything. So, yeah. Oh, wait a second. One. Oh, I was wrong. I did miss. It goes over here, up at the front. So there you go. That's that. And make sure I'm not missing anything else. I am, which is this piece here, which goes right here. There. Okay. Now bag 4 is done. All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming and hanging out. I'm probably going to do this every Sunday until this is all built. Some of the bags will take a lot less time to put together than others. This is, what the heck? There we go. Bag, let me see here. Bag 5 and 6 are down here. Right? Bag 5, 6 are down here. These are all, this one especially is a quicker one. So that one might be a 3 bag, but there's only 12 bags in all. So at most, this is 6 episodes of me just rambling at you guys and building this stuff. So I just do want to say thank you for coming out. Yeah, I do appreciate it. I appreciate the fact that I can chat with you guys and joke at you guys and all that kind of fun stuff. But I'm going to let you guys go. It's been over an hour. Thank you for hanging out with me for over an hour, and have a great day.